Here's the opening kickoff. It's a wobbler, sailing down to Douthitt. He takes it right on the goal line, drops the ball, picks it up, fumbles it. Is he going to get it or not? He's dropped in his tracks on the 4-yard line and really snowed under. Well, we got off to a bad start right away, Randy. Douthitt couldn't find a handle on the ball. And Iowa has the ball now. Here's a handoff going up the middle and no gain at all. Mark Fetter carrying the ball actually was thrown back to about the 3-yard line, trying the middle of that big UCLA defensive line. And cutting across is Rod Wellington, and he's snowed under right at the line of scrimmage, and he's dropped actually for a loss as they're simply overpowering this Iowa offensive line, it looks like, Gary, and they drop Rod back to the 1-yard line. Delay. Here's a handoff going to Jensen, and Jensen is cracked down right at the goal line. No gain on the play. Jensen was hit hard as they tried to string it out, running laterally down the stripe on the goal line, actually, and it could have been a safety, but Jensen got it back to the 1-yard line. Tackle made by Fulton Kuykendall. He's their fine outside linebacker, a defensive end, 6 feet 3, 209 pounds. And so the Hawkeyes will have to go into punt formation. Joe Hefner will be kicking from his own end zone. Hefner with his back to the end of the goal line. He kicks it. It's going to be a short one, sailing high in the air. UCLA lets it bounce, and it rolls out to the 35-yard line. So Randy, right away, the UCLans have great field position. John Shara is at quarterback. They're operating out of the slot back or I-back formation. They send one man in motion. Iowa goes into a 7-man front. And here's Shara with the football, and he hands off the middle, goes down to the 30-yard line. Russell Charles. Beautiful fake by Shara into the line. Pulled a lot of people on that one.
Yeah, including myself.
Lester Washington made the stop. Shara rolls out with the football, pitches wide this time to Charles, gets down to the 30, gets down to the 25-yard line. Russell Charles run out of bounds on the 24-yard line by Earl Douthitt. Now operating from the hash mark, drives straight ahead, and it's the first down UCLA. He goes down to the 23, maybe the 22-yard line, tackled by Dan LaFleur. Spins, hands off into the line of scrimmage to Russell Charles once again. Dives forward, goes down to about the 20-yard line, Dan LaFleur. And Armington at the bottom of the pile. Defending about on the Iowa 20-yard line near the western hash mark. Shaw rolls out, pitches wide, down to the 15-yard line. Carl Zabe. Speed merchant, 5'9", 192. He's a sophomore. Zabe, Farrell, and Charles are in the backfield. Along the line of scrimmage now, Shara hands off up the middle down to the 10-yard line. Goes Bobby Farrell, 6 feet tall, 210 pounds, left halfback, tackled by Denny Armington. Wide to the right. Split end is also set out. Shara now pitches back this time to Charles. He's at the 10 and hit hard. A bone-breaking tackle. Driven back to the 12-yard line. Beautiful play by Earl Douthitt. Randy, let's give this guy a pat on the back. Earl Douthitt making a great play out of the left cornerback spot.
Great play by Earl Douthitt. That was the option. Actually, it was a belly option, and Douthitt came up well from the cornerback spot and made a great tackle.
Douthitt, as the pitchback went out to Charles, came up fast and knocked him actually back to the 12-yard line, but the ruler's motion carried him to the 9, so it'll be second down, UCLA, goal to go on the Iowa 9-yard line. And now Shara along the line of scrimmage, pitches wide this time, and down to the 6-yard line. Fumble on the play. Fumble. And let's see, did they blow the play dead first? Iowa fans are booing, so quite obviously the official indicated the ball was dead as it popped out of the hands of Zabe. He was really hit in there by Dan LaFleur. And Iowa actually fell on top of the ball. I think it was LaFleur who hit him and then fell on top of the ball. But they ruled the play was dead. That would have been a break for the Hawkeyes, Randy.
Certainly would have been. It was a fine tackle in there. Iowa's doing a lot of things different defensively than they did against Michigan.
Okay, it's UCLA now, third down, goal to go on the Iowa 7-yard line. Great defensive play that time. Shara along the line of scrimmage starts to run, cuts back inside. He's at the 5-yard line, and he's knocked down on the 4-yard line or 3-yard line. John Shara on the 11-yard line. Ball is down, the kick is up, and it looks like it's good. It is good. And the score is UCLA 3, Iowa nothing, 7:59 left to go. First quarter. We'll be back to action right after this word for American Federal. They forced the Bruins to settle for the 3-pointer instead of getting the 7-pointer. This is a long, high kick off the toe of White, taken in the end zone by Douthitt. Douthitt decides to down the ball. Let's see what they can do right now. Rob Fick, Jim Jensen, Fetter, and Wellington in the Iowa backfield. Pitch back goes to Wellington. Cuts over right tackle. Doesn't get much running room, but on sheer individual effort, goes forward from the 20 to the 23 or 24. Iowa in the wing T formation. Sends Wellington in motion. Hand off to Wellington. Cuts up over the 25 to the 27-yard line. Nice game by Rod Wellington for the Hawkeyes on their own 27-yard line. Here's Jensen. Finds a little bit of running room, but not enough for the first down. Gets up to about the 29-yard line. 28.5, 29-yard line. Key play over the right side, and Jensen couldn't quite find the running room to make it, but he didn't move up. It's going to be about 1.5 yards shy of a first down.
Get those back roaring in there.
Joe Hefner will kick deep for UCLA. Wally Henry and Kent Pierce standing up around their own 35-yard line. He gets time. He boots it. It's a bad one in Iowa's kicking game, but it takes an Iowa bounce rolling down to the UCLA 39-yard line. Bruins flank Blameyer. And now they're operating out of the I formation. They send their tailback in motion, and here is Shara handing off up the middle this time to Russell Charles. Great defensive play by Denny Armington. UCLA just shy of their own 41-yard line on the eastern hash mark. Shara does a complete spin, pitches out wide this time, and there's no gain on the play. Bobby Farrell, trying to string the defense out, was nailed by Dan LaFleur, who pursued beautifully along the line of scrimmage and holds them for no gain. It's still UCLA 3rd and 9 on their own 41-yard line. Beautiful play, Gary.
Well, the UCLA offense looks like kind of helter-skelter out there. They got backs going every direction, and that's no doubt why we have the 3 linebackers instead of the 2, Jim. And LaFleur just played that perfectly.
Pitch back that time went to number 32, Bobby Farrell, left halfback. And now John Shara rolls back to pass. He may decide to run. He throws downfield, and it is complete to the 41-yard line to Steve Monahan. A great leaping effort defensively was made out there by Bobby Elliott, but he couldn't quite get to the ball, Randy.
Well, give that credit to Shara. He got outside our defensive end. Heil got knocked down at the line, and once he let that guy outside, the cornerback had to release off the passer because he thought Shara was going to run with the football. And it's really difficult to contain a quarterback that can run and throw the way Shara can.
First down and 10. Hands off up the middle. A drive, a sheer power drive by Carl Zabie out of right halfback. Carries down to the 35-yard line. Okay, UCLA sends their tailback in motion once again. On second down and 6, Shara with the ball. Goes one tackler, another starts to run with it, and his throws fall off back to the 40-yard line, but it just about took the whole Iowa team to do it. Dave Wagner made first contact back there, and Shara, I think, wanted to hand off to somebody, but finally there was nobody, and they were right in on top of him. They simply snowed in on him, and they throw him back to the 39-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 8 for UCLA on the Iowa 39.
Well, you know on 3rd and long that Shara's going to come out on the roll or the bootleg, and he's very dangerous at the corner.
This time Monahan flanks way out wide to the right. Shara's at quarterback. His backs are split. They're not in the I formation. Fakes into the line as a complete spin. Starts to run with that football, and his throws fall off. A beautiful defensive play. Lynn Heil got to him. Lester Washington was in there. The defense was going absolutely crazy, and so are these Iowa fans as they throw Shara back to the 46-yard line of Iowa. This Iowa team, Gary, is really getting some momentum now. All right, UCLA forced to punt now. John Sullivan stands back on his own 40-yard line. Let's see what Iowa can do on offense now. Low snap. He's right. He gets a high kick with a wind, and it's a boomer. It sails down. Iowa lets it go into the end zone, so they'll have it 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line. Hawkeyes have a chance. Let's see what they can do on offense. Rob Fick is at quarterback. They send Wellington in motion. Hand off to Jensen. Jensen, in this defensive-minded game, is stacked up as he goes for about 3 yards. Bill Schultz split out to the left side. Here's Fick rolling out to throw. He is pursued, starts to run with the ball. He's got some room. He's up to the 30-yard line. Rob Fick, there should be a first down. Let's see where his knee touched. 3rd down and about half a yard to go. Here's Fick handing off to Wellington. Can he make it? He doesn't make it. He stopped on a 29-yard, or did he make it? They rule it. They give it to him. He was knocked out of bounds, but before he was, they ruled his motion. Moved that football up over the 30. I think they gave one back to us, fellas. The ball was actually over the 30. UCLA 3, Iowa nothing. Beginning to cloud up a bit down here, but things are looking brighter on that football field. Here's Fick. Delays. Hands off now to Eddie Donovan, who's in at tailback, and Donovan gets up over the 30 to the 33-yard line. Okay, there's the end of the first quarter. UCLA 3, Iowa nothing. Back in a moment. This for Feaster Derby. Better than 250 tackle to tackle on offense. Hawkeyes have it now. 2nd down and 7. Fick rolling out. Fakes the pass. Decides to run with the ball. He's up at the 30-yard line. Nice run by Rob Fick. Rob Fick doing some fancy Dan halfback work out there. Gene Settles made the stop. Randy? Well, I think they measured that with a micrometer because he indicates he's got about 2 inches to go. And UCLA sending in some more shock troops. The new coach of UCLA is Dick Vermeil. On 3rd down and 1. Here's Fick. He gets the first down as he moves forward up over the 40 on a quarterback keep. Okay, the Hawks have it now 1st and 10 on their own 42-yard line. Wellington goes in motion. The handoff up to Fetter. Fetter goes forward up to the 45-yard line. It's 2nd down and 7 for the Hawks. They're on their own 45-yard line. Fick is at quarterback. Motion as the inside reverse play. Wellington is tripped up as he gets just over the 45 to about the 47-yard line. The Secretary of State with a name like that. Here's Jensen. Jensen finds the running room. He's over the 50 into UCLA territory. An off-tackle play. First and 10 for the Hawks in UCLA territory. Here's a trap up the middle. A big hole. Iowa goes down to the UCLA 39-yard line. Mark Fetter running right down the middle that time. Goes to the UCLA 39-yard line. Dale Curry making the stop. Randy?
That's the quick trap up the middle that Bob Cummings feels he has to make go to move the football. And Mark Fetter hit in there quickly behind good blocking and got a nice game.
Nate Winston seeing his first play, and here is Jensen threading his way down almost to the 35-yard line. Iowa now out of the wing T formation, first and 10. You heard the cheer go up when they announced it, and here's Fetter down the middle, out of running room, gets to the 30-yard line. Mark Fetter goes down to the UCLA 30-yard line. The Hawkeyes are getting a lot of real estate. They say actually went over the 30, down to the 29-yard line. In his prep career, now operating at fullback for Iowa. Second down and 3 for the Hawkeyes on the UCLA 29-yard line. Fick to Wellington. Wellington skirts the left side, runs laterally down to the 25, down to the 23-yard line. Wellington turns on that great outside speed of his and picks up a first down for the Hawkeyes on the 23-yard line. Randy, I'll have to say this is the best-looking Iowa team we've seen offensively and defensively, considering the caliber of opposition we're facing today, in a long, long time. Ball first and 10 on the UCLA 22-yard line is where they spot that ball. Here's Fick, hands off to Fetter, bounces off tackle, flags are down, and the ball goes down to the 20-yard line.
I'm afraid I talked too soon. It looks like holding on the Hawks.
Now on the UCLA 38-yard line, hash mark on the east side of the field. Wellington goes in motion. Fick fakes to him. He looks downfield. He has his man. Here's the bound all the way down to Schultz. Oh! Schultz had the ball and dropped it in the end zone. Bill Schultz, one of Iowa's surest-handed receivers, had the ball. He was in back of the UCLA deep defenders. He had TD written all over that football, and he couldn't quite hold on to it.
Well, let's give Schultz some credit, Jim. He had to turn around for the ball, and I think maybe it was tipped. Gary, did you feel that ball was tipped?
Yeah, I thought it was tipped. He still had his hand on it after it was tipped, but that's tough. That's a tough way to go.
Tough one to catch.
Okay, Iowa now with the football on second down and 25 on their own 38-yard line. Fick rolls back to pass once again. He's being rushed. He may have to run with the ball. He throws downfield to Southland, and Dave Jackson. Dave Jackson. Touchdown, Iowa. Fick rolling out beautifully. Passes to Jackson in the end zone for a touchdown. Listen to this Iowa crowd. Wide, it was almost a broken play. Jackson weaving his way down, got in behind the UCLA deep man, Barney Pearson, and picked it off. Iowa touchdown. Randy?
Let's give a lot of credit to Rob Fick that time. It was not his primary receiver.
Touchdown, Iowa leading 6-3. And now Quintero will attempt the PAT. Reichard holds it up, and it is good, and Iowa leads UCLA 7-3. Oh, what a great feeling this is. Russell Charles and Bobby Farrell standing down by the goal line. It's a wobbly kick, and it may go out of bounds. It does go out of bounds. So the Hawkeyes will have to kick this next one now from their 35. Okay, here's Quintero. He boots it. It's high end over end coming down, and it rolls out of bounds on the 5-yard line. So once again, Iowa's penalized. At the north goal, kicking south. Here's Quintero. He boots the ball. This time it's right down the middle of the field, and it sails down to the 5-yard line. UCLA drops the ball. And coming back upfield with it now. And he's dropped on the 12-yard line. Boy, what a tackle. Davy Bryant, number 51, who plays on the kickoff team. Russell Charles dropped the ball, picked it back up, ran for about 2 yards, and Davy Bryant nailed him right on the 12-yard line.
Great play by Bryant. It was a great open field tackle. Just fantastic that we've got him on the 13-yard line, kicking off from the 30.
Fans haven't had this much reason to cheer in a long time. Here's John Shara rolling out, starts to threaten with that football, has a little running room, jitterbugs around, gets up to 20, up to 25, 26, 27-yard line. John Shara, always a threat, as he cocked his arm several times as if to pass, and he moves from the 12-yard line up to the 27, so it's going to be easy enough for a first down.
This Shara puts the supreme test on your defensive ends. That time Heil took the inside move, and he's got to maintain outside pressure to contain this guy.
First and 10, UCLA on the UCLA 27-yard line. Shara now hands off. There's a fumble on the play. Recovered by Iowa at the 20-yard line. significant that I believe UCLA fumbled something like 7 times against Tennessee in that 17-17 tie 2 weeks ago. So the Bruins fumble on a handoff to Farrell. Iowa has great field position. First and 10 on the UCLA 30-yard line. Backfield, it's Rob Fick at quarterback. And Wellington split out wide to the right side. Here's Fick. He rolls back, looks for his receiver, throws a screen pass up the middle. Fetter with the football, runs back inside, still going, still going. Mark Fetter on a fullback screen right up the middle. This Iowa bench is going absolutely crazy, and the Hawkeyes take a 13-3 lead over a stunned UCLA team. I haven't seen this stadium so alive, I don't think, since the 1950s. The Hawkeyes lead UCLA, would you believe, 14-3 with 8:57 to go in the first half. And we're still early in the second period. A good kick sailing down to the goal line. Goes into the end zone. UCLA with the ball. It's Bobby Farrell with it. Finds some running room. Gets up over the 20 to the 23-yard line. And that's it. Let's see where they're going to spot it. I believe on the 23. For UCLA on their own 23-yard line. Shara this time. Hands up. It goes practically nowhere. Up to the 25-yard line. Bobby Farrell is tackled by Denny Armington. John Shara at quarterback. Shara hands off up the middle this time. Up to the 31-yard line goes Wendell Tyler, the right halfback. Flank Slaymeyer out to the right side. Here's Shara rolling out with that ball. He's dangerous. He's up to the 40-yard line. Breaks away from one tackle, another. He's still going with that football. Earl Douthitt trying to run him down. At the 45, reverses field, ridden out of bounds on the 40-yard line. And Douthitt really banged him off that bench. Douthitt took him into the fight on the sideline. There's a fight on the sideline now, and there's a major fight as they're mad at Douthitt. The Iowa team all over the field. They're mad at Douthitt for running him so hard off the field into the bench. Earl Douthitt really hitting him that time and knocking John Shara into the UCLA bench. Now the fans are booing also. Teams both sides emptying onto the field. But the refs, I think, have it under control. Hey, Jim, also, let's give credit to Earl Douthitt. John Shara rolled out to his left, cut back across the green, and he was gone for a touchdown if Douthitt didn't have outstanding speed. Douthitt did not have the angle and ran Shara down. He saved the touchdown. He certainly did, and John Shara is okay. He was knocked into the UCLA bench. A double penalty against UCLA, motion and holding against Iowa. So it's going to be UCLA's ball, first and 10 on the 40-yard line in Iowa territory. Okay. I remember that one. Okay, UCLA has the ball now. First and 10 on the Iowa 40-yard line. Here's Shara. Hands off over the middle, down to the 35-yard line. Goes Bobby Farrell on the slant over left tackle. He's brought down by Bobby Elliott as UCLA now moving that football gets down to the Iowa 33-yard line. Iowa in a 7-man front. Fumble recovered by Iowa. The Hawkeyes once again recover a fumble, and it's Lester Washington this time. Now let's see. Got to be Iowa. Iowa ball. We had to hesitate a moment. It popped right out of Shara's bench, and the Hawkeyes once again recover a UCLA fumble, and Lester Washington, number 77, rises out of that pack with a trophy in his hand, his helmet off, and he's one happy guy, Gary. Iowa 14, UCLA 3. Motion in the Iowa backfield. Here's Fetter. A great big hole for Mark Fetter. Running over the 50, down to the UCLA 48-yard line. Mark Fetter running better than I've ever seen him before, Randy. Boy, is he running with determination, and he has great balance. It just shows if he can get a hole, Mark Fetter is a truly great football player. Jim had a great game last week against Michigan, but came up with a leg injury. He's expected to be back in action again in a couple of weeks. Okay, and now time is in, and Iowa has it first and 10 on the UCLA 49-yard line with about 6.5 minutes to play in the first half. Here's Jensen finding some daylight, breaking one tackle, gets down to about the 46-yard line of UCLA. Okay, now the handoff goes up the middle to Fetter, finds a little bit of running room, gets down over the 45 to the 43-yard line. Goes into what amounts to a double wing with only Fetter as the deep back. Wellington goes in motion, takes the fake, and here's the ball with Fetter with Dick Vermeil running down to the 40-yard line. Rob Fick faked beautifully that time, circled around, ran down to the 40-yard line. He's going to be close to the first down, but I don't think quite. He needs about a yard. Great call by the Hawks. Are they going to call for delay of the game? That's too much time. Iowa is called for delay of the game. As pitch. Okay. He boots the ball with a wind. It's a good one, sailing into the end zone. UCLA is going to let it roll for an automatic touchback. Around 50,000 people down here this afternoon. A lot of latecomers. A lot of gate sales. Shara back to throw for UCLA. The bomb downfield is over the head of the intended receiver. Slot back set out to the right side. Double flanker out there. Shara fakes into the line. Decides to run along the line of the scrimmage laterally. Pitches wide and very little gain on the play. UCLA, the ball is on their own 23-yard line. Shara back to pass. He fakes the draw play. Starts to run with the ball. Bullet pass is incomplete. Beautiful play by the Hawkeyes. Wally Henry, the intended receiver. Dave Wagner back on pass coverage. The ball hit Henry right on the shoulder pads and bounced off. That's a break. Hung that thing, as Estel Sarkiner would say, like a frozen rope.
Right. That's a break for the Hawks because the pass was on the money. It was a deep curl, and the UCLA receiver coughed it up.
And now, the punt will be attempted from the 8-yard line, and it's John Sullivan kicking the ball against the wind. The high spiral, tamping under it is down. It signals for the fair catch and takes it at the 43-yard line. Very wise call. He saw a lot of white jerseys coming down on him, so the Hawkeyes will have good field position.
Hey, there's a fight down there. That UCLA guy just went in and took a swing at a guy from Iowa.
Now the bench of Iowa, and UCLA has two men over on the Iowa bench.
Oh, I can see
Cummings'
bald head. Boy, he just ran right in there and took a swing at an Iowa man on the sideline.
I think they're still feeling...
Oh, they gave us 15.
Oh, 15-yard penalty against the Hawkeyes. Apparently...
I don't understand that one.
Hawks have the ball first and 10 on their own 27-yard line. Fick pitches wide to Wellington. Wellington threads his way to the right side, cuts back upfield, gets to the 30-yard line, and that's it. Now a fumble. Let's see who gets it. Rob Fick, I think, fell on top of the ball. He fumbled the center snap, dove forward, fell on top of it. Actually picked up about 2 yards on the play, but he loses it down. Gary? Rob Fick hands off to Jensen. Jensen threads his way up to about the 35-yard line. Got a lot of long yardage to go here because of that 15-yard penalty. They started out first and 25. Gets the ball. He boots it. Sails with the wind, and it comes down and taken for UCLA on the 25-yard line. A reverse field. No run back at all on it. Dropped on the 22-yard line. Wally Henry. A great tackling out there by Eddie Donovan. Number 35. And Shaddy Burks, number 49.
Good coverage on that punt, and a great punt by Tommy McLaughlin.
Good kick by McLaughlin, only a freshman. But he's a big guy, 6'3", about 200 pounds. The U-Clans on their own 22-yard line. John Shara at quarterback. Shara goes back to throw. He looks, he may decide to run with the ball. He throws, incomplete, intended upfield for Steve Donahue. As they outplayed the Wolverines much of the last half. Here's Shara rolling along the line of scrimmage. He throws over the head of Monahan once again. A minute 12 left to play in the first half. Shara with the ball. Iowa expecting a pass. Shara goes back. He looks. He throws downfield. The ball is hit. It's incomplete. Great defensive play by Iowa. Andre Jackson. Lester Washington, number 77, was in on that. Blameyer, the intended receiver, and the Hawks are just smothering this passing game, Randy, of UCLA.
The receiver was wide open that time, and Andre Jackson took a deep drop from his linebacker spot and made a great play because the receiver was wide open.
He tipped the ball. Lester Washington got in on top of the passer, and once again, this Hawkeye defense holds. Kicker for UCLA will be John Sullivan, 5 feet 10. The kick is almost blocked. Now the kick comes down. Donovan takes it, starts to run. He's dropped in his sack. Fick has gone the distance to quarterback. Wing T formation. Rod Wellington set out to the right. Here's Fick faking. Goes back. He throws upfield, and it's complete for a first down to the 40-yard line. Beautiful play that time. Completed forward pass.
He is out.
He really got hit. And that is
Randy
Yoakum once again. And Randy, remember how he commented on how hard he was hit last week and still held on to that football. Iowa goes into the hurry-up offense now. Yoakum, with a few cobwebs in his head, he was really racked out there by the UCLA cornerback. Fick back to throw once again, aims to the sideline, and it's incomplete. Over UCLA, 38 seconds to go in the first half. Hawkeyes have the football. Fick rolls out. He's being pursued. He throws, and it's complete to Jackson. Reverses field. He might do it. He's at the 35, the 33-yard line of UCLA. Dave Jackson. An automatic first down and an automatic clock stop. Oh, a great catch that time, Randy.
It certainly was, and a great throw by Rob Fick. We're on the 23-yard line with 29 seconds. Of course, we'd like the touchdown, but we also have to be thinking about field goals. UCLA does have 3 points on the board, and the field goal would be most important to Iowa at this stage of the ball game.
Rob Fick now drops back to throw. He is rushed. He throws for the sideline, and it is incomplete. Intended for Jensen. It'll be second down and 10 for the Hawkeyes inside the UCLA 25-yard line. He fakes on the draw play. Fick rolls out, looks. He passes downfield. Oh, totally incomplete. Wellington had the ball, but he was hit at the same time. He got the ball by Kent Pierce, and the ball popped off his shoulder pads, and I think the crowd thinks there may have been pass interference there.
Great play by Rob Fick. Boy, he's really threatened that needle. Wellington was covered well. It was no way he could catch the football because of great defense by UCLA, but that ball was thrown well.
All right, it's third down and 10 for the Hawkeyes now, and they're on the UCLA 24-yard line. Quintero is going to attempt a field goal. The ball will be spotted on the 30-yard line. Right guard spots the ball. The kick is blocked. Quintero goes back and picks it up, and he falls down on the 32-yard line, and with 10 seconds left to go, field goal attempt was no good. The kick was blocked by Herschel Ramsey, the safety man. The safety blitz came in and blocked the kick by Quintero. So 10 seconds left to go in the first half. Iowa leading 14-3 over UCLA. Quintero, the ball was blocked. He recovered it. And so it's actually fourth down, and Iowa has the ball.
Try it again, or it'll be a 50-yard field goal if he can make it.
Quintero attempting one from the 40-yard line. It'll be a 50-yard field goal if he makes it. He kicks it. It's up. It is very shy. That one came close. It did go over the end of the end zone, but not through the uprights, and that uses up the clock, and you're going to hear a tremendous cheer from these Iowa fans. Iowa leading here at halftime, 14-3. What a first half we've seen. Iowa 14, UCLA 3. All right, the ball is spotted. Iowa
Fred Williamson.
Okay. No comment. He boots it, and I'm afraid it's going to go out of bounds. It does. Once again, Quintero has that same problem he had in the first half, booting that ball out of bounds for the UCLans of UCLA. He boots it. This time it aims for the sideline once again, but here's toward the middle. It's a bobbled ball. UCLA has it, and they spread around back there. The Hawkeyes come down, swarm in on top of Bobby Farrell, I believe. Okay, now it's going to be UCLA with the football, and John Shara goes along the line, heads up at the middle, and it's Carl Zabe, the right halfback, as he squirts up over right tackle, goes to the 30-yard line, and Dan LaFleur makes the stop. Two men set out to the right side. Here's Shara. Oh, and it's recovered by UCLA. Woo! A fumble and a good hit in there by Dave Wagner, number 90. Russell Charles was the intended pitch man on that, and he got racked, and he dropped the ball.
Wagner came down as Shara was optioning out to the far side, Jim, and really stung it.
UCLA now has fumbled 3 times. They've lost 2. They fumbled 7 times against Tennessee 2 weeks ago. And Shara hands off to Charles up the middle. He goes for about 2 yards is all. Gets the middle of the Iowa line. Steve Wojin at the bottom of the plow. And it's Shara calling plays. Rolls out. Looks for a receiver. May decide to run with the football. They're swinging him out. He throws upfield, and it's complete to about the Iowa 47-yard line. We had to wait to see whether Monahan was in bounds. They ruled that he was. Shara looked like he wanted to run on that play, Randy, and couldn't get away.
Well, he thought he was going to be outside of Lynn Heil, and Heil recovered, forced him to contain him so he couldn't get outside, and then he threw the ball. He had his receiver wide open.
Want to correct our score here. Iowa leading UCLA. Iowa 14, UCLA 3. It's the UCLA first down on the Iowa 47-yard line. Here's Shara. Shara rolls out with a football, starts to run. He pitches wide this time, and it's Charles pulling his way over the 40 down to the Iowa 37-yard line. That's normally a linebacker. It's second down and 1 for the UCLans of UCLA. They're on the Iowa 38-yard line. And here's Shara. Hands off to Charles. He finds daylight. First down. Fumble. And a fumble on the play. I believe recovered by Iowa. He's going to give it to Iowa. Let's see. I believe he may. Let's see what happens. Another fumble as Charles was hit hard. They ruled that the play was dead. Iowa falling on top of the ball. I believe that was Dan LaFleur. They hit Charles hard. The ball popped away from him. They ruled, however, the play was dead. So it does not go as a recovered fumble. It goes instead as a UCLA first down. UCLA has not crossed the goal line. Their only score came on a field goal. They're threatening right now. First and 10 for UCLA. On the Iowa 27-yard line, Shara fakes, rolls out, pitches wide, this time to Charles, and he's tripped up just as he gets inside the 25. Field Monahan flanks out to the left. Blameyer flanks out to the right side, and it's Shara at quarterback, rolling back. He looks for his receiver. He passes. It's complete down to the 12-yard line.
Had a blitz on that time. Bobby Elliott coming in from his monster spot, but he was picked up quite well by the UCLA blocker, and it allowed that pass pattern to succeed.
Shara taking his time and passing much more effectively than he was in the first pass. The ball seems easier to handle. A couple of almost shoelace catches, but the receivers have held on to him. That time it was Monahan, number 3, who gives UCLA another first and 10 on the Iowa 12-yard line. Now here's Shara, hands off up the middle, and it's Carl Zabe behind that ponderous line as he pulls his way down to the 5-yard line. Carl Zabe brings it down inside touchdown territory now.
Using 3 linebackers in the middle, and of course that's the softest spot to attack. And of course now we're into a goal line defense.
Hawkeyes going to goal line stand. Second down, UCLA and 2. They're on the Iowa 5-yard line. Shara rolls out wide. He tries to run for it. He's trapped. They reverse the field, and he fumbles down. Recovers the ball. They took the ball away from Shara. The Hawkeyes recover the football on the 10-yard line.
Looks like another fight down there.
And now once again the two teams are arguing. Now let's see what the referee decides. The Iowa Hawkeyes fell on top of that ball. There wasn't any question about that. Lester Washington is at the bottom of the pile. Shara, and they give it to Iowa. The Hawkeyes get the ball. Who actually got that ball away from it? There was about 5 black jerseys.
Well, it's hard to tell, but I'll tell you what, Jim. You get breaks like that, and you can't beat it.
Okay, now this motion in the Iowa backfield. Hand off to Fetter. Goes straight up the middle. Goes over the 10 to about the 12-yard line for the Hawkeyes. Hawkeyes now in a double wing form of attack. Here's Wellington taking the ball, skirts in, cuts back inside, and almost breaks it. Goes up to the 15 to 17-yard line. Nice run by Wellington. Third down and 3. Pitch back goes to Jensen. Finds running yardage and gets up over the 20-yard line.
Awful close. Awful close.
Close to the first down, and he may have it.
Looks like you got it, Jim.
He does get it. Nice run by Jensen off the right side. He picks up the first down and also a lot of cheers. It's nice, Hawkeye fans.
Nice to see Jim Jensen running hard on that off tackle because we have to have that tailback that'll crack in there.
Iowa 14.
First down for Iowa. Jensen goes in motion, cuts back up the far side. Up there off the 24-yard line.
Second down and 7 for the Hawkeyes. Wellington goes in motion. There's a fumble, I believe, or a big pile up on the 25-yard line. Let's hope it's not a fumble. And now Jensen going in motion. Here's Fick rolling out. Jump pass. Complete to Fetter. He's up to the 35-yard line. Beautiful play.
Beautiful play and a counter bootleg. Rob Fick on the counter bootleg. He hit Fetter coming out of the backfield. He was lonesome.
Beautiful. A lot of play that time. A lot of motion going all different directions.
5-yard pop to Fetter, and he was wide open. Great play.
First and 10 for the Hawkeyes as they again move this football. They're on their own 35-yard line. Wing T is set out to the left side. Pitch back goes to Wellington. Wellington has the hole. He cuts the field. He's still going with that ball. Look at it move. Up over the 45 to the 49-yard line. Ron Wellington bouncing tacklers off of him, getting up to the 49-yard line. One of the finest scrimmage runs of the afternoon. Wellington picks up another first down, and this guy, Randy, you can see why he was a champion 440-yard dash man as a member of the relay team in the spring.
Yeah, Rob Wellington has more speed than anyone in the Hawks backfield, although Jim Jensen can run a 10-flat 100, but he's the speedster, the guy that can break it.
They're just about at the midfield stripe, and here's Rob Fick as Wellington goes in motion, hand up on the inside to Jensen. He has running room. Look at him go. Inside the 45, down to the 42-yard line.
We're starting to see the wing T, Jim, back in the old days when you have such a great balance. The one play works, why they stop that and something else opens up, and that's what Commings is doing. He's mixing it up so well that we've made about 35, 40 yards here in a matter of about 3 or 4 plays.
Big holes on that counter. Big holes. And here's Fick again this time. Hands off to Fetter. He doesn't find too much running room, but he keeps fighting. And they marched all the way from their own 10-yard line down to the UCLA 42-yard line in a series of 8 plays. Here's Fick. He picks his back this time. Wellington doesn't find any running room at all. The going is tough, and he's thrown for a loss back to the 46-yard line. Rod Wellington, as UCLA blitz. Tim Kinnick came in from right tackle that time and got to him first. They ruled that his motion stopped on the 46-yard line, so it's a loss on the play. Now the Hawkeyes will have to go into punt formation, but the offense, listen to the cheer the offensive team gets. Joe Hefner against the wind. He hangs one up there. It's going to come down in about it takes a bad bounce for Iowa and bounces back upfield as it gets caught in that wind. John Shara at quarterback. Slot back set out to the right side. Shara delays, hands off to Russell Charles. Finds a little bit of running room and gets up to about the 38, 39. Give him the 39-yard line, and that was Shara at quarterback now. On second down, here's Shara. Can't find a hole. Now he decides to keep the ball and is wrestled down on the 45-yard line. Shara, he delays. He has the ball, and he hands it off this time to Carl Zabie. Zabie spurting down the far sidelines. Is at the 50, 45, 40, inside the 40. They got to Shara. He pitched out just as they got to him, and that, of course, is the perfect way to run the option play. Wait till they converge on you. They racked him up good, but he got the ball away. Shandy Burks finally made the tackle. It'll be a UCLA first down, deep in Iowa territory on the Hawkeye 38. You can buy major brands of oil at Easter Derby Station for low discount prices. Andre Jackson was hurt on that play and is out. Andre Jackson out of the lineup, and that could hurt the Hawkeyes. First and 10 for UCLA. And Shara hands off up the middle into the another fumble on the play. Let's see who gets the ball. The ball was popped away from Carl Zabie as he was really hit, but I think UCLA recovered. Oh, that ball flew through the air. Boy, was he hit. These Hawks are really hitting. And, actually, it looked to me like the ball went right up in the air, and it looked like it hit LaFleur in the hands, and he dropped it. Right. Number 55, Dan LaFleur, looked like he had a piece of that football, but UCLA's Norm Anderson had split in, made the recovery. So it's the first and 10 for UCLA. Monahan splits out wide to the right side. They're on the Iowa 27-yard line. Iowa leading 14-3 in the third period. Here's Shara. Rolls out. Charles looking for running room, and he doesn't get much of it as he gets inside the 25 down to the 23-yard line. UCLA with the ball, second down and 7 on the 23-yard line. And here's Charles, a big hole. He veers to the outside, back to the inside, gets down to the 8-yard line. Russell Charles, tackled by Shandy Burks, and they're finding daylight now. Randy? That was right off tackle. Lynn Heil was out. Mark Phillips was in. I wouldn't say it was Phillips' fault, but they had a big hole off tackle as Phillips went to the outside. Great tackle by Shandy Burks. Now as UCLA is moving the football, making their deepest threat so far. Iowa leading 14-3 over the UCLans of UCLA. Shara with the football now. Hands off up the middle. Big pile up under the line of scrimmage. Didn't pick up too much on that. That's Carl Zabie. UCLA 14-3. Fans are really putting up a hoop and a holler now. Here's John Shara, and Shara keeps the ball. He pitches wide to Charles. Charles is hit as he gets down to the 3-yard line. Put the power offense in with 2 tight ends. The UCLA. Did they get it? Let's see. Right down the middle is Charlie Schumann, the fullback. He's to the 1-yard line. He's down to the 1-yard line. It brings up fourth down, and goal to go UCLA on the Iowa 1-yard line. Oh, man, they must have about a script with them right from Hollywood when they flew out from Los Angeles yesterday. And now we'll march down to the opposite end of the field. The score is Iowa 14, UCLA 3, and we will return to the action in 1 minute. UCLA fourth down and goal to go on the Iowa 1-yard line. Shara is calling those signals, and Shara dives across for the touchdown. John Shara scores for UCLA. Simply diving across, and he had about 1 yard to go, and he just dove right over the line of scrimmage. And so UCLA now with 9 points. Iowa still leads with 14. And the question is now, gentlemen, can they hang on? Can they hold in there? And can they score again? No doubt about it. We're going to have to move the ball and probably get another score on the board to win this one. UCLA is going to go for, well, they're not going to try 2 points. They're going for the PAT here. Brett White will kick one up, and the kick is good, and the score is Iowa 14 and UCLA 10. Back in a moment, just for the Easter Derby. Eddie Donovan standing up around the 10 and 15 yards respectively. He could kick it out of bounds. It floats around down there. No, it's fallen on. Who gets it for Iowa? It's fallen on the ball. A very tricky win. Rod Wellington at wingback, all right halfback. Fick back to throw. He rolls out. Gets a little running room. He's up to the 30-yard line. And Rob Fick gets right at the 30-yard line where he's tackled by John Donahue. 30-yard line. Fick to the left side. Here's Jensen with the ball. He gets close to the first down. He's up around the 33-yard line. And Fick strides forward. I believe did he make it? He drove forward. Looked like he got a couple of inches, but then was driven back.
I don't think he got it. I don't know.
It'll be a question mark here. It depends entirely on where the official says his motion stops. Forward motion. Fick moves forward. Frank Manano.
Hey, the ref moved fast.
Manano
was on the field.
Made the stop, the big linebacker, and all right, they ruled that Fick did not make it, and the Iowa offensive team is not happy about that. 9-man rush. McLaughlin gets the ball. He kicks it with a win. It's a high hanger. Comes down and takes it all out. It's rolling, it's rolling, it's rolling, and it is down on the 10-yard line. A great kick by McLaughlin, which took a great Iowa bounce.
Boy, it bounced right over the UCLA man's head. Went down to the 10-yard line. It appeared to be a poor
Wally
kick.
Henry, number 8, was standing down at about the 18. I don't think he thought McLaughlin could put it over his head, but he did on the bounce. Get out of town fast. Dial direct and save. It's easy and fun, too. Northwestern Bell, our sponsor. Iowa 14, UCLA 10. Can the Hawkeyes hold? It's the WHO Des Moines, Iowa. UCLA will start on the 10-yard line. Out wide to the right. Slot back formation. Hawks go into a 7-man front. And here's Russell Charles trying to find a little running room. And he finds about 3 yards of it. Up the middle. Goes to the 13-yard line. Mike Lopez, defensive tackle, makes the stop. Blaymire out to the left side, and here's Shara along the line of scrimmage, and the ball carrier wrestled all the way back to the 25. It's Charlie Schumann, the fullback. Now here's a rollout for Shara, veering around to the right side, and he didn't make it. He's snowed under at the 15-yard line and ripped out of bounds by Dave Wagner, by Dave Bryant. Let's see who's all in on this now. Dave Wagner, Dave Bryant,
and Earl Douthitt.
And Earl Douthitt. What a great defensive play. He lost 2 yards on it. Ridden out of bounds on the 15-yard line. So John Sullivan will have to come in to kick.
That very well could have been the biggest play of the ball game because UCLA is forced to punt from their own 15. The Hawks should get the ball in excellent field position.
And Donovan. The ball hangs up there. It takes a UCLA roll. The Otters didn't make a play on the ball because you can see UCLA converging out. The Hawks have great field position. Line of scrimmage will be the Iowa 48-yard line. Fick is the quarterback. Fick hands off a big Fetter. Fetter drives all the way down for a first down to the 35-yard line. What a run by Mark Fetter, and what a game that guy's having. Randy, he almost went the distance that time. The lone man was Barney Person at right cornerback, and he tackled him.
Great strap up the middle. He just was lonesome. He blew by the linebackers before they knew what was happening into the secondary. Big play by Mark Fetter on that offensive line.
Inside the 40-yard line of UCLA. Wellington goes in motion, takes the handoff, cuts to the outside, can't find running room, and they nail him down. On the line of scrimmage. In fact, he didn't quite make the line of scrimmage. He lost about a yard on the play. Wellington unable to turn the corner. Rick Kukalika at left tackle made the stop. And now we have a UCLA player down on it, on the play. And UCLA trainers are on the field. The score is Iowa 14, UCLA 10. We're in the fourth quarter, 10 minutes to play. Manu Maluena is in at linebacker now for UCLA. And I hope he doesn't stay there too long. Second down and 12 for the Hawkeyes. Fick rolls out. He's pursued. Throws right downfield. It is incomplete and almost intercepted. Intended for Bill Schultz. Ooh, that was a dangerous pass. Fick threw into traffic that time.
Had a lot of heat on him.
A lot of heat is right.
That was the 32 keep. The keeper, he fakes the off tackle, comes around, and UCLA is now doing a lot of stunning in there with their linebackers. They have heat all over Fick.
Let's hope it keeps going. Wing T formation to the right side. Iowa's on the hash mark to the east side of the field. Jensen fumbles the ball. And let's see who recovers it. Jensen fumbled on the handoff that time. Coming around, it's going to be UCLA's ball, and a big break for the Bruins as they now get it at midfield, or close to it. Jim Jensen trying to take the fumble, or trying to take the handoff. Came on the handoff rather than being hit, and Fulton Kuykendall fell on top of the ball. Iowa's first lost fumble in 2 games. But it comes at a bad time. UCLA, Iowa had him in the hole. Iowa was on the march, and now the U-Clans will have the ball. First and 10 on their own 43-yard line. Here's Shara. He fakes. He looks. He may decide to run with the ball. Instead of throwing the bomb, he throws. It's complete. Downfield for UCLA. And with that football is Norm Anderson. To Anderson and Shaddy Burks made the tackle. UCLA picks up a first down. Bruins have it now first and 10 on the Iowa 40-yard line with 9:40 to play. Right, it looked almost like a broken play situation, much like Iowa's first touchdown pass. UCLA offside. Here's Shara scrambling around, and he's tackled for a loss back to the 48-yard line. Iowa may decline a penalty. Lynn Heil got to Shara, dropped him back to the UCLA or the Iowa 48-yard line. It's offside against UCLA, but the loss was more than the penalty. Phil McKinley and Mike Horton both jumped offside for the Bruins.
It looked like one of those plays where the flags go up in the air before the ball is snapped and the people are offside. Half the people were playing the play and half of them were not.
16 for UCLA now. They're back on the Iowa 47-yard line. Monahan is the wide flanker. The running backs are in tandem. Here's Shara. He goes back to throw. He's being pursued. Starts to run toward the sideline with a ball.
He got it away.
Complete. Let's see, is it complete? Shara was really racked as he threw that football. John Shara at quarterback. Shara fakes. He looks back. He's rushed. He starts to run with a football, and he's tripped, and he doesn't get the first down. He's piled up right at the line of scrimmage. Davy Bryant. Lester Washington. Dan LaFleur. All in on the tackle. Give this Bryant a pat on the back. He's playing some football today.
Bryant is not a starter, you know. Sherman started about half this time last year and apparently lost his job to Larry Bush. But
they said all along that he has the ability. UCLA forced the kick. John Sullivan standing on his own 43-yard line. Gets the snap at the low one. Nobody. Just let it roll.
10-yard line.
And they do. It rolls inside the 10-yard line. And now let's see if the Hawkeyes can eat up some clock here. Okay, Rob Fick at quarterback now, and Fick hands off to Jensen. Jensen breaks into the clear. He's up over the 20 to 22-yard line. Jim Jensen running with great authority that time, and he almost broke it. Once he's into the secondary, you can just about kiss him goodbye. He's got that kind of speed.
Still holding that arm a little bit, Jim. Jensen made a fine run, however.
They have a first and 10 out on their own 22-yard line. John Donahue made the stop at left side cornerback. Hawks now with the ball, first and 10 on their own 22-yard line. Here's Fick, hands off to Wellington. Wellington tries to find running room, makes it back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Fick at quarterback. He's gone the route this afternoon. Here's the spin, a handoff to Jensen. Sees daylight, goes ahead. He's up over the 30 to the 32-yard line. Jim Jensen proving to be the workhorse of this ball game this afternoon. John Donahue made the stop.
Short counter, Jim Jensen is running with authority. He's going to make up for that fumble that he had, and he is running well today, and the Hawks blocking is good.
All right, it's third down and 1. 6 minutes and 34 seconds to play. Iowa goes to the full house T backfield, and here's Wellington. He dives forward, I believe he made it. Rod Wellington dives up over the line of scrimmage, goes up to about the 34-yard line.
That was a 9-man line with a safety 2 yards off the line of scrimmage. We got the first.
They have the first down. They're on their own 33-yard line at a double wing formation now with Jim Jensen going in motion. Takes the pitch back, gets a little bit of blocking, but not enough. Dives forward up to the 35-yard line where John Donahue makes the stop. It'll be second down and 8 for the Hawkeyes. Just shy of their own 35-yard line, and here's Fick. He rolls out. He starts to run. He's got some room. He's at the 40, the 45, the 50, the 45. A fumble goes out of bounds. Wait a minute. Does it go out of bounds or not? Out of bounds. Fick, the day is saved. The fumble. Fick was hit hard. The ball popped out of his hands and goes out of bounds. We had to hesitate a moment because it was right by the Iowa bench. Woo! Man. That's a hard stopper because right over there was Kent Pierce and John Donahue once again, but it goes for a great run by Rob Fick. The ball was popped out of his hands and went out of bounds. So with 5:09 to play, it'll be Iowa's ball, first and 10 on the UCLA 46-yard line. Great run by Rob Fick. He was hit hard. The ball luckily popped out of bounds. Iowa.
This WHO, Des Moines, Iowa.
UCLA goes into a 7-man front. Jensen goes in motion, takes the handoff, has to fight for yardage, gets it down to the 40, down to the 39-yard line. Strikes it down to the 41-yard line, we should say. Big pile up right on the 40. Six for the Hawkeyes. Jensen goes in motion. Hand off to Fetter. Let a running room right up the middle. Mark Fetter's down to the 30-yard line. First down, Iowa. Boy, this Fetter is having a day, Randy. the first down to the 31-yard line.
I tell you, this may rank with the 1952 upset of Ohio State, Jim, if they pull it off.
Here's Rob Fick, hands off again to Fetter. He's down to the 25-yard line. Mark Fetter pulling his way straight ahead. What a job of running this guy's doing today. Steve Derby thinks that deep inside everyone there's a gas station attendant trying to get out. That's why we've got self-service service at most locations. Rod Wellington now comes out of the game. I think it'll be either Nate Winston or Eddie Donovan coming in. Second down and 3 on the UCLA 25-yard line, and here's a handoff going to Jensen. Jensen finds daylight, gets down to the 22-yard line. UCLA 22, and Iowa started way back in their own territory on this drive. Here's the drive to Fetter. He picks up the first down on the 20-yard line. Mark Fetter gets the first down on the 20-yard line, and listen to this sound. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go, and this sound is going to be wilder than 1952. First and 10 for the Hawkeyes. The clock is moving. Iowa is on the UCLA 20-yard line. Fick is handing off down to Jensen. Jensen could go. He's at the 10. He's coming out of bounds on the 6-yard line. Jim Jensen goes all the way down to the 6-yard line for another first down and goal to go. I'm like you, Gary Fletcher. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I imagine what it's like sitting at home, but I don't even know if I believe it seeing it. Better buy your tickets for next week, huh?
Buy your tickets for next week, and be sure to tune in to Bob Cummings football show tomorrow night. You'll see it all. On the UCLA 6-yard line, and here's Rod Wellington cutting back inside. He's down to the 4-yard line. Inside reverse, the counter play. Rod Wellington. 1 minute and 38 seconds to play. Iowa goal to go on the UCLA 4-yard line. Here's Wellington. Handoff goes to Fetter. He's got Iowa. Mark Fetter spun off the tacklers. He throws that ball 100 feet into the air. It's another touchdown, Iowa, and the Hawkeyes now take a 20-10 lead over UCLA. And now, listen to this crowd. Seen a sideline go any crazier than that Iowa coaching staff and Iowa sideline is going right now. UCLA is stunned. The ball is snapped. The kick is up, and the kick is right through the uprights. It's Iowa 21, UCLA 10, a minute 28 to play. Can you believe it? I can't. There was a penalty apparently on the point after. Now spiking the football and a touchdown. It's an end-over-end job, and it rolls down to the 20-yard line where it's picked up. UCLA has the ball. Ooh, and Bobby Farrell is met by a stone wall.
Good touchdown. Great individual effort.
All right, Wally Henry flanked wide to the right. John Chara is the quarterback, and Chara back to throw. He looks. He's being right, and he is trapped, but he gets away. Veers to the outside, and now Lester Washington grabs him, throws him up in the air like a dog would throw a bone, and tosses him down on the 32-yard line. These Hawks are enjoying themselves today, and I don't blame them. WHO Des Moines, Iowa, bringing you what we think is one of the great games in Iowa football history. Now Chara back to throw on the far sideline. Hits his man over there, Wally Henry, and he in turn is hit by Earl Douthitt with a cracking tackle, knocking him out of bounds. No, he didn't knock him out of bounds. Clock's still going. Chara at quarterback, 29 seconds to go. Iowa leading 21-10. Chara passes the ball. A great defensive play by Earl Douthitt. He simply reached his hands up like it was a basketball and tipped it out of bounds. Okay, here's Chara with the football. Chara goes back once again to throw. He throws, and it's tipped out of bounds again by Earl Douthitt, and he almost came up with the interception. These Hawkeyes on the sideline can hardly restrain themselves. They are so eager to get out there. Larry Coyer is going wild now. And Lester Washington is coming up. Lester's played himself one whale of a ball game today.
Without any question.
Here they come. Clock is counting away, and the fans are coming out of the field. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. The Hawkeyes defeat UCLA.
There goes the goalpost.
And there go the goalposts. The metal goalposts are trying to tear them down, and they are absolutely swarming over this Iowa football team. This does not hold.